What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. And in this video I want to talk about the Tennessee Volunteers and the things that I think that they must do in order to get to the playoffs and potentially make it to the championship game. But first, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and by doing so it greatly helps out my channel and helps me grow as a content creator. Well, the Tennessee Volunteers had a really good season last year, and Josh Heupel is just doing a phenomenal job with the team. uh, Doing really good in recruiting. Was able to bring in a great quarterback in Nico. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, but really talented quarterback. And Tennessee is looking to continue the success that they had last season. But they got to, got to do some things, in my opinion, to get to the playoffs and make it out the SEC as well. And potentially can get to the championship game. They had a really good team last season. Uh, did very well. Beat Alabama for the first time in 15 years. Uh, was the number one team at one point, for a week. Played Georgia that week and lost the game. Had to go on road in a tough environment, in Athens, Georgia. But Tennessee got one of the best offenses in the country. And they're bringing a lot of those guys back. Still lost some guys on the offensive side of the ball, but still a very talented team. They no longer have Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, guys like that, but they're still explosive on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm gonna just jump right into the things that I think they need to do to make it to the big dance. One of the things is they have to continue the production on the offensive side of the ball. Like I mentioned, Hendon Hooker is no longer there, but enter Joe Milton. This is a guy, very talented guy. Came in last season and played some games when Hendon Hooker got injured. The offense still looked the same. Josh Heupel has set up the offense where pretty much plug and play, the quarterback. And they got to continue that offensive production. They had to dip into the transfer portal to get a wide receiver in Dante Thornton, but look out for him. He's going to be really good. They still have Squirrel Wright, Brew McCoy over there. I mean, loaded. Jabari Small, loaded on the offensive side of the ball. And they can't drop the ball, no pun intended, offensively. They have to keep, that production going. And I have confidence that I think they're going to be really good still this upcoming season. And like I said, they're set up pretty well, even if something were to happen to Joe Milton. Nico is a very talented player, and I'm pretty sure Josh Heupel is going to have him ready as well as the backup. So they must continue to keep that offensive production up, and particularly when they go against teams like Georgia, they got to be able to find a way to score on a elite defense. They did very well on Alabama last season. In my opinion, Alabama wasn't really elite on defense, but they was pretty good. So they have to continue to be able to score on great defenses, and I have no doubt that they're going to be able to do that this upcoming season. The next thing that they have to look out for, it's not necessarily a knock on the team, but it's a rule change. The NCAA has made some changes on football games this upcoming season, and they're going to be shortening the game. And one of the rules that they're implementing is that after a first down, the clock no longer stops. So the Tennessee Volunteers, just like everybody else, is going to have to adjust to that. But I'm saying that's one of the things that Tennessee is going to have to overcome, because if you really think about it, if that rule was in play, last year, specifically when they played game against South Carolina, could have been different, in that matchup. But Tennessee is a team that loves to go fast, and they're going to have to adjust to that, this upcoming season as well as everybody else. But I thought in particularly that it can affect a team like Tennessee. But navigating that's going to be interesting to see what they do. Another thing that they must do, they must improve on the defensive side of the ball. And I was looking at some stats on the Tennessee Volunteers team. They're going to have to improve defensively. Total defense, I don't know how accurate this is, but it says right here that they ranked 91st nationally in total defense last season. They definitely have to clean that up, just like the game I was mentioning against South Carolina. They gave up 63 points. It was a head scratcher of a game. Tennessee did a really, really good job, last season. Beat teams like LSU, who won the SEC West, beat Alabama. But then you turned around and lost to South Carolina. And if I'm not mistaken, they had a really, really good game against Kentucky. I think Kentucky only scored like 6 points. So they have to improve overall defensively. I think they're set up this upcoming season to do so, though. They no longer have Byron Young. He got drafted in the NFL. But they do got Aaron Beasley coming back. And this guy is going to be a heck of a player this upcoming season. He had a really, really good game in the Orange Bowl against Tennessee, not Tennessee, but Clemson. Really, really good player. And they have since went to the transfer portal and got some guys as well. But Tennessee this upcoming season defensively is going to be really, really good. They got a lot of seniors, in my opinion. And it's going to be interesting to see how good they can be. Definitely on the back end, they definitely had to do some cleaning up. But like I said, they got a lot of seniors this upcoming season. And I don't care what team you play for. If you got a lot of seniors, that's good to have, and because it brings, experience and maturity to the team. So I expect Tennessee to have a better defense that they've had in a while. Like I said, they got a lot of guys, back there. They got the guy from BYU. I think his name Keenan Pili. I might pronounce his name wrong, but they got some guys coming back, and of course, the defensive coordinator's coming back as well. So expect for the Tennessee Volunteers defense to be a lot better than it has, probably better than last season, and they definitely have to clean that up. On the defensive side of the ball, Tim Banks. Like I said, they retain a lot of guys, so it's going to be interesting to see what the Tennessee Vols do, but they definitely got to clean up on the defensive side of the ball. Another thing that they have to do, and they must do this, they have to win either at Alabama or win at home against Georgia. I think that'll go a long way for the Tennessee Volunteers. They have to beat one of those teams, in my opinion. It's going to be interesting. Last season, they went on the road and played Georgia. Wasn't able to put up the offensive output that they have been doing all season last year. This season, though, they host the Georgia Bulldogs. And in my opinion, out of the two games, it would be great to beat Alabama again, show the world that to be a confidence builder, to beat Alabama back-to-back. But to right that wrong from last season against Georgia, I think they must beat Georgia this upcoming season, in my opinion. Now, as far as schedule-wise, Georgia is not necessarily going to have the strongest schedule this upcoming season, but they are the back-to-back defending champions. So, in my opinion, they must beat Georgia or Alabama. But in my opinion, beat Georgia because they're on your schedule as a home game. Beat Georgia at home. That's going to go a long way, in my opinion. And possibly they can win the SEC East. And that's another thing they must do. They got to win the East. And it's very possible that they can do it this upcoming season. A lot of people probably right now used to do a bet that they would bet that Georgia would beat Tennessee regardless. But Georgia's going to be breaking in a new quarterback. And in my opinion, it sets up very, very well for Tennessee to beat Georgia this upcoming season. But we all know Georgia's a very, very talented team. Kirby Smart has done a phenomenal job with the team. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that matchup in Neyland Stadium this upcoming season. But in my opinion, that's one of the things that Tennessee must do. They must beat either Georgia, Alabama, or both. That's going to go a long way with the committee, having those teams as beating those teams on your schedule. And we all saw last year with the committee, Tennessee was ranked very, very high, very high. It was at number one at one point. Like I said, beat Alabama, beat LSU on the road. So they have to do that, But those are my things that I think Tennessee must do. Improve on the defense, beat the big games, beat the teams on your schedule, the big games, Georgia versus Alabama. And they must keep up that offensive output and must adjust to the game, which everybody's going to be going to have to do. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and have a blessed day.